if you want to publish your Storyline file for the web, log into Storyline, click on Publish, and then choose Web. And then from here, you can choose, it depends which version of Storyline you have. You may be able to choose how you want to deliver the content. At this point, I recommend choosing HTML5 and then /Flash. And what that means is it'll be delivered in HTML5 browser and then fall back to Flash. If you don't have these settings, don't worry about that. There is also an option for use the Articulate mobile player, and I would uncheck that option, or you don't want it to be played on the Articulate mobile player. It's fine. It will open in a browser, and on an iPhone or an Android device it will open in the browser as well, and you don't need a mobile device for that. So click Publish. It's going to take a bit of time, so I will pause. Once it's published, click Zip, and then I'm going to save this. And then close. So it's saving, and I'm going to go back to Blackboard. Here I am in Blackboard, and I'm going to put it in the content collection area. So click Content Collection, and I can save it in the course area, but what I'm going to do, I want it available, this is something that I want available to anybody without regard to whether they're in my course or not. So I'm just going to save it in my personal area in the content collection. So I will click that link there. I'm going to create a folder, and this I'm going to call Storyline Share Content. Submit. So I've created a folder. I'm going to go into my folder, and I'm going to upload that zip package. Click Choose File and upload the zip package, and then click Submit. Now, while this is uploading, and you can see at the bottom of the screen, if you're using Chrome and some other browsers, it'll show you the percentage. If it's a big file, it can take a little bit of time. So it's nice to use Chrome because Chrome will actually just show you what the percentage is. And while we're waiting, I also want to mention that if you need to make changes to your file, you can go back through the publishing process and republish it in web format, and then choose the file, click this box here, and then submit, and it will overwrite it again. And so this is a nice benefit of publishing in Web Publish View, because you don't have to deal with some of the kind of restrictions around uploading to Blackboard as a SCORM file. All right, so we're almost done uploading, 99%. Great. And waiting for Blackboard. I also want to note that if you do happen to have a web site, just any sort of web space, you can upload this content as well. You can upload it there if you have some other place you prefer to host web files. It doesn't work in Dropbox or Drive or anything like that. So that's because the files kind of rely on each other. So you do actually need either a web space or Blackboard works for this. All right, so right now we're in the folder, and the permissions are saying that it's not shared. And rather than sharing each of these individual files, I'm just going to go up one level to the parent folder and change the permissions on that folder. All right, so I'm going to go to Storyline Share Content. I'm going to click on Permissions, and I'm going to choose Permit Anyone. There are some other ways that you can say permit to anybody in the university once they log in, but the easiest thing to do is to just permit anyone. If you do have a need to kind of keep it within Northeastern, send us an email at ats@northeastern.edu, and we can help kind of give you some more fine-grained permissions for that. All right, so I'm going to click OK. Now the content is publicly shared, but what I want to do is to go into the folder. I still need to get that link that I'm going to send to people. And the way you do that is to find the story.html file. Now there's also a story.swf file, there's a story_flash, there's story html5.html. You don't want to choose any of those. You want to choose this file, the story.html file, because that is the sort of main file that will then switch between the Flash or the HTML file as HTML5 file as necessary. But you just want to use this file right here. I'm going to click the arrow, go to 360 view, and I'm going to grab this link right here, Control C. So that's all. Just to kind of show you that this does work, I'm going to open up a browser that I'm not logged into Blackboard with and hit enter. I always do that just before I send a link to anybody because I know sending a link can cause confusion if it doesn't work. All right, so that worked. And so that's how you post publicly in Blackboard.